What happens when a rich man accidentally sees something he shouldn't? This story will surprise you and show how one moment can change two lives forever. Meet Mr. Johnson, a very wealthy man who lives in a huge house. He has lots of money but feels very lonely. Maria is a kind woman who cleans his house every day. She works hard to take care of her family. One day, something unexpected happens that changes everything for both of them. Before we dive into today's gripping story, we want to take a moment to appreciate you, our amazing subscribers, new viewers, and the incredible community that makes Moonlight Tales by Samzy so special. Your likes, shares, and thoughtful comments mean the world to us, and we're beyond grateful for your support. If this is your first time here, welcome. You're in for a ride filled with drama, suspense, and unexpected twists. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest stories. And of course, drop a comment below. We love hearing from you, and your support keeps us going. Now, sit back, relax, and let's dive right back into the story, because things are about to get even more intense. Mr. Johnson's black car pulled into his long driveway much earlier than usual. The sun was still high in the sky, painting everything golden yellow. He turned off the engine and sat for a moment. His head hurt from the boring meeting at work. All he wanted was to go to his quiet room and rest. He walked up the white stone steps to his front door. His expensive shoes made soft clicking sounds. The big house looked the same as always, perfect and clean. Mr. Johnson put his key in the lock and turned it slowly. "I'm home early today," he said to himself. His voice echoed in the empty hallway. The house was very quiet. Maria's cleaning supplies sat neatly by the kitchen door. Her yellow bucket was half full of soapy water. The smell of lemon cleaner floated in the air. Mr. Johnson looked around but didn't see Maria anywhere. She must be upstairs, he thought. I hope I didn't scare her by coming home early. Mr. Johnson loosened his blue tie as he walked toward the big staircase. His feet sank into the thick carpet. The stairs curved up like a fancy hotel. Pictures of his family hung on the walls, his parents, his grandparents, all looking serious in their gold frames. At the top of the stairs, Mr. Johnson paused. He could hear water running somewhere. It sounded like it was coming from the guest bathroom at the end of the hall. The door to that bathroom was painted white like all the others. A thin line of yellow light showed under the door. Maria must be cleaning the bathroom, Mr. Johnson thought. He felt a little bad that she was working so hard while he was coming home early. Mr. Johnson walked toward his bedroom. His room was the biggest one, with windows that looked out at the garden. All he wanted was to change into comfortable clothes and maybe take a nap. Work had been so tiring today. As he walked past the guest bathroom, he noticed something strange. The door wasn't closed all the way. There was a small gap, maybe as wide as his thumb. Warm steam was coming out of the crack. The water was still running, but it sounded different now, like someone was taking a shower, not cleaning. Mr. Johnson stopped walking. His heart started beating a little faster. Something didn't feel right. Maria always kept doors closed when she was cleaning. She was very careful about things like that. He took a step closer to the door. The steam felt warm on his face. He could smell Maria's shampoo. It smelled like flowers and sunshine. Through the gap in the door, he could see part of the white bathroom tiles. They were shiny with water drops. Mr. Johnson's hand reached toward the door handle. He was going to close it properly. Maria probably just forgot to shut it tight. But as his fingers touched the cool metal, something made him look through the gap. What he saw made him freeze like a statue. There was Maria, standing under the warm shower water. Her long black hair was wet and shiny. Water drops rolled down her arms like tiny diamonds. She had her eyes closed and was washing her hair with slow, gentle movements. Her face looked peaceful and happy. Mr. Johnson's eyes went very wide. His mouth opened but no sound came out. His heart started pounding so loud he was sure Maria could hear it. His hands started shaking like leaves in the wind. "Oh no," he whispered so quietly that even he could barely hear it. "Oh no, oh no, oh no." Time seemed to stop. Mr. Johnson knew he should look away. He knew he should step back and leave quietly. But for just a moment, He couldn't move. Maria looked so different from when she was cleaning. She looked free and happy, not worried about work or money. Then reality hit him like cold water. This was wrong. Very, very wrong. He was seeing something private, something that wasn't meant for his eyes. His face turned red like a tomato. Sweat started forming on his forehead even though he felt cold inside. Mr. Johnson quickly stepped backward. His foot caught on the carpet and he stumbled. He reached out to catch himself and his hand hit the door. The door moved just a tiny bit, but it made a small creaking sound. Inside the bathroom, Maria heard the noise. Her eyes opened fast. She turned her head toward the door. Through the steam and water, she saw a shadow moving outside the gap. "Hello," Maria called out. Her voice sounded scared and confused. "Is someone there?" Mr. Johnson's heart nearly stopped. He pressed himself against the wall like he was trying to disappear into it. His breathing was fast and shallow. Sweat ran down his back under his expensive shirt. Maria wiped water from her eyes with her hand. She looked more carefully at the door and saw the gap. She could see part of a dark suit through the opening. Her eyes went very wide with shock and fear. "Oh my God!" Maria screamed. Her voice was high and frightened. "Someone is there. Someone is watching me." She quickly covered herself with her arms and pressed against the far wall of the shower. Water kept running over her, but now she was shaking not from cold, but from fear and embarrassment. "Who is there?" Maria called out again. Her voice was shaking now. "Please go away. Please." Mr. Johnson felt like he was going to be sick. His stomach twisted into knots. His whole body was shaking. He knew he had to say something, but what could he say? How could he explain this terrible mistake? "Maria," he said in a very quiet, shaky voice. "Maria, it's me, Mr. Johnson." The silence that followed was the worst silence Mr. Johnson had ever heard. It felt like it lasted forever. He could hear his own heart beating and the water still running in the shower. "Mr. Johnson?" Maria's voice was barely a whisper. It was full of shock and disbelief. You were watching me?" "No," Mr. Johnson said quickly, still pressed against the wall. "No, I wasn't watching. I didn't mean to. I came home early and I heard water running and the door was open just a little bit and I was going to close it, but then I accidentally saw, and I'm so sorry, Maria. I'm so sorry." His words came out fast and jumbled, like water rushing from a broken pipe. He was talking so fast he could barely breathe. Inside the bathroom, Maria turned off the water with shaking hands. The sudden silence felt heavy and strange. She grabbed a big white towel and wrapped it around herself tightly. Her whole body was trembling. "The door was open?" she asked. Her voice sounded very small and scared. "Just a little bit," Mr. Johnson said. He was still against the wall, afraid to move. "I wasn't trying to look, I promise. I was just walking to my room and I noticed it wasn't closed and I was going to close it properly, but then..." He couldn't finish the sentence. How could he explain that for just a moment, he had looked when he should have looked away? Maria sat down on the edge of the bathtub, still wrapped in her towel. Tears started running down her cheeks. They mixed with the water drops that were still in her hair. "I thought I closed the door," she whispered to herself. "I always close the door. Always." She felt so embarrassed she wanted to disappear. Her cheeks were burning red. Her hands were shaking so much she could barely hold the towel around herself. "Did you see?" she started to ask, but couldn't finish the question. Mr. Johnson closed his eyes tight and put his head in his hands. "I'm sorry," he said, and now his voice was shaking too. "I'm so sorry, Maria. I should have walked away immediately. I should have never looked. I don't know why I froze like that. I'm a terrible person." Maria wiped her eyes with the corner of her towel. She had never felt so embarrassed in her whole life. She kept thinking about what Mr. Johnson might have seen. Her face felt like it was on fire. "Please go away," she said quietly. "Please just go to your room and let me get dressed." "Yes, of course," Mr. Johnson said right away. "I'll go to my room. I'll stay there. Take all the time you need. And Maria, I'm sorry. I'm so very sorry." Mr. Johnson pushed himself away from the wall and walked quickly toward his bedroom. His legs felt weak and wobbly. He kept his eyes looking straight ahead, not turning back toward the bathroom door. He went into his room and closed the door behind him. Then he sat down on his bed and put his face in his hands. He felt awful, like the worst person in the world. "What have I done?" he whispered to himself. "What kind of man am I?" In the bathroom, Maria got dressed as fast as she could. Her hands were still shaking, making it hard to button her work shirt. She kept dropping things and having to pick them up. Her heart was beating so fast it hurt. She looked at herself in the bathroom mirror. Her face was still red from embarrassment. Her eyes were puffy from crying. She looked like she had seen a ghost. "He saw me," she whispered to her reflection. "My boss saw me in the shower. What happens now? Will he fire me? Will he think I'm a bad person?" Maria had never felt so confused and scared. She needed this job so badly. Her children needed the money she made here. But how could she face Mr. Johnson again after this? She sat on the bathroom floor and cried quietly. The tiles felt cold against her legs. Everything had changed in just a few minutes. Nothing would ever be the same again. Outside in the hallway, the house was completely silent. Both Mr. Johnson and Maria stayed in their separate rooms, both feeling embarrassed and scared. Both wondering what would happen next. The golden afternoon sun still shone through the windows, but inside the big house, everything felt dark and confused. A simple mistake had created a big problem that would change both their lives forever. Sometimes accidents happen that make us feel very embarrassed and confused. When this happens, the most important things are to say sorry when we do something wrong, to forgive people who make honest mistakes, and to treat each other with kindness and respect even when things get difficult. Maria sat on the small chair in the guest room. Her hands shook like leaves in the wind. She kept looking at the door. She was scared. Very, very scared. Her heart beat fast like a drum. Thump, thump, thump. She thought about her children at home. Little Anna needed new shoes for school. Baby Carlos needed medicine when he got sick. What would happen to them if she lost her job? Outside the door, Mr. Johnson walked back and forth. His expensive shoes made soft sounds on the marble floor. Click, click, click. He felt terrible. His stomach hurt like he had eaten bad food. His face was red with shame. He had never felt so bad in his whole life. Not even when his company lost money. Not even when his wife left him years ago. This was different. This was worse. Mr. Johnson stopped walking. He took a deep breath. The air felt thick and heavy. He knocked on the door very gently. Tap, tap, tap. "Maria." His voice was quiet and soft. "Please. Can we talk?" Inside the room, Maria jumped like a scared cat. She wiped her eyes with her sleeve. I don't know, Mr. Johnson." "Please," he said again. "I need to say sorry. I need to make this right." Maria's voice was tiny and scared. "Are you going to fire me?" Mr. Johnson's heart broke into a million pieces. He pressed his forehead against the cool door. "No, Maria. No, I'm not going to fire you. I promise." "Really?" Maria's voice got a little stronger. "Really? I give you my word. Please, can we just talk? I won't come in. We can talk through the door if that makes you feel safer." Maria thought for a long moment. The room was so quiet she could hear the big clock in the hallway. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Finally, she said, "Okay. We can talk." Mr. Johnson sat down on the floor outside the door. His expensive suit got wrinkled, but he didn't care. "Maria, I am so sorry. What happened was an accident. I never meant to embarrass you or make you feel bad." "I know," Maria said softly. "I could see the surprise on your face. You looked as shocked as I felt. I was shocked. And I felt terrible right away. I still feel terrible." Mr. Johnson put his head in his hands. "I should have been more careful. I should have knocked first. I should have called out to see if anyone was upstairs." Maria was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Mr. Johnson, can I ask you something?" "Of course." Ask me anything. Why do you always look so sad? Even before today, you always looked like someone took away your favorite toy. Mr. Johnson was surprised by her question. No one had ever asked him that before. I don't know if I should talk about that. I told you it's okay, Maria said. Her voice was getting warmer, like hot chocolate on a cold day. Sometimes talking helps. My grandmother always said that keeping sadness inside makes it grow bigger. Mr. Johnson smiled a little bit. Your grandmother sounds very wise. She was. She raised me when my parents died. She taught me that everyone has pain inside, even rich people. Your grandmother was right. Mr. Johnson's voice got very quiet. I have a big house, lots of money, fancy cars. But I eat dinner alone every night. I wake up alone every morning. I go to sleep alone every night. That sounds very lonely, Maria said. She moved closer to the door. It is lonely. Very lonely. Sometimes I hear you humming while you clean. It's the only happy sound in my house all day. Maria felt her heart get soft like warm butter. I didn't know you could hear me. I thought you didn't like noise. I love hearing you hum. It makes the house feel alive. It makes me remember what happiness sounds like. Mr. Johnson, can I tell you something? Yes, please. I was scared of you for a long time. You always looked angry. You never smiled. You walked around like a storm cloud. Mr. Johnson felt ashamed. I wasn't angry at you, Maria. I was angry at myself. Angry at my life. But I never meant to scare you. I know that now. But before, I thought rich people were mean. I thought you looked down on people like me. Never, Mr. Johnson said firmly. Never, Maria. I think you're amazing. You work so hard. You're always kind. You make everything beautiful and clean. I wish I could be more like you. Like me. Maria was very surprised. But I'm nobody special. I clean houses. I don't have money or fancy things. Maria, you are very special. You have something I lost a long time ago. You have a warm heart. You care about people. You make others feel better just by being there. Maria started to cry, but these were happy tears. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. No one ever said anything like that to me before. Can I tell you a secret, Maria? Yes. Sometimes I stand at my window and watch you leave work. You always stop to pet the neighbor's cat. You always wave at the little kids playing across the street. You always smile, even when you look tired. You make the whole neighborhood brighter. I love children and animals, Maria said. They remind me that the world still has good things in it. Tell me about your children, Maria. I know you have children, but I don't know anything about them. Maria's voice filled with love and pride. I have 2 babies. Anna is 8 years old. She's smart like her father was. She loves to read books and draw pictures. Carlos is only 4. He's funny and makes everyone laugh. He loves trucks and cars. Where is their father? Mr. Johnson asked gently. Maria was quiet for a long time. Then she said, he died 2 years ago. He got very sick. We had no money for doctors. He died at home, holding my hand. Mr. Johnson felt like crying. Oh, Maria. I'm so sorry. That must have been terrible. It was the worst day of my life. But I had to be strong for my babies. They needed their mama to take care of them. How do you do it? How do you stay so positive when life has been so hard? My children need me to be strong. When I look at their faces, I remember why I work so hard. Every dollar I earn buys food for their bellies. Every day I clean gives them a safe place to sleep. You're the strongest person I know, Maria. I don't feel strong. I feel scared most of the time. Scared I can't pay the rent. Scared my children will get sick. Scared I'll lose my job and will have nowhere to go. Mr. Johnson's heart hurt for her. You don't have to be scared about your job, Maria. You're the best worker I've ever had. You make this house a home. Really? Really? This house was just empty rooms before you came. Now it feels warm. Now it feels alive. They sat quietly for a few minutes. Both of them felt something changing. The fear was going away. The walls between them were falling down. Mr. Johnson? Maria said. Yes. Can I ask you something else? Of course. Why don't you have friends? Someone as nice as you should have lots of friends. Mr. Johnson laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh. I used to have friends. But when you have money, you never know who really likes you. Some people were only nice to me because they wanted my money. That's terrible. Real friends like you for who you are inside, not for what you have. Yes, but it's hard to tell the difference sometimes. So I stopped trying. I built walls around my heart. Walls keep bad people out, but they also keep good people out, Maria said wisely. You're right. You're very wise, Maria. My grandmother taught me that too. She said, Maria, a heart that's closed to pain is also closed to joy. Your grandmother sounds like she was an amazing woman. She was. She would have liked you, Mr. Johnson. She always said that lonely people just need someone to see the good in them. What good could she see in me? You're kind, even when you try to hide it. You pay me fairly. You never yell or get angry. You say please and thank you. You treat me with respect. Those are just basic manners, Maria. No, they're not. I worked for other rich people before. Some of them treated me like furniture. Like I wasn't even a real person. You never made me feel that way. Mr. Johnson felt surprised. I never knew other people treated you badly. Some did. But not you. You always looked me in the eyes when you talked to me. You always asked about my day. Little things like that matter. I'm glad I did those things right, at least. Mr. Johnson, can I tell you something that might sound strange? Yes, tell me. Sometimes when I'm cleaning your house, I pretend we're friends. I pretend we talk and laugh together. I pretend you're not sad anymore. Mr. Johnson felt tears in his eyes. That doesn't sound strange at all, Maria. Sometimes I pretend the same thing. Really? Really? Sometimes I imagine coming home and you're there with your children. I imagine the house full of laughter and voices. I imagine feeling like I belong somewhere. You do belong somewhere, Mr. Johnson. You belong wherever there are people who care about you. Do you care about me, Maria? Maria was quiet for a moment. Then she said, yes, I do. I care about you very much. It makes me sad to see you so lonely. I care about you too, Maria. More than you know. You're not just my housekeeper. You're like sunshine in my dark world. That's the nicest thing anyone ever said to me. It's true. Every word is true. They both felt something beautiful happening. Two people who had been strangers were becoming friends. Two hearts that had been closed were opening up. Maria, Mr. Johnson said softly. Yes. Would you like to be friends? Real friends? I would like that very much, Mr. Johnson. Please, call me David. Mr. Johnson sounds so formal for friends. Okay, David. That feels nice to say. And Maria? Yes, David. Tomorrow, would you like to have lunch together? We could sit in the garden and talk some more. I would love that. But are you sure? I'm just your housekeeper. No, Maria. You're my friend. And friends have lunch together. Maria opened the door slowly. She looked at David sitting on the floor in his expensive, wrinkled suit. His eyes were red from almost crying, but he was smiling. Thank you, David, she said. Thank you for seeing me as a person. Thank you for caring about my heart. David stood up slowly. Thank you, Maria, for opening your heart to me. Thank you for showing me that friendship is possible. They looked at each other for a moment. Both of them felt lighter, like heavy rocks had been lifted from their hearts. I should go home to my children now, Maria said. Of course. Give them my regards. I will. And David? Yes. Tomorrow will be a better day. For both of us. Yes, David smiled. Tomorrow will be much better. As Maria walked toward the front door, she hummed softly. David listened to the happy sound echoing through his house. For the first time in years, he hummed along. Outside, the sun was setting, painting the sky pink and gold. But inside the big house, something even more beautiful was happening. Two lonely hearts had found each other. Two people had learned that friendship can grow from the most unexpected moments. The moral of this part of their story is clear: when we open our hearts and speak with honesty, we can turn accidents into friendships. When we see past someone's job or money to their real heart, we find treasures we never expected. Love and loyalty begin with understanding, and understanding begins with the courage to really talk to each other. After the big talk, everything started to change. Mr. Johnson felt different inside his heart. Maria felt different too. They both learned that being kind is more important than being rich or poor. The next morning, Maria came to work like always. But this time felt special. Mr. Johnson was waiting in the kitchen with a big smile on his face. "Good morning, Maria," he said in a happy voice. "I made coffee for both of us." Maria looked surprised. No one had ever made coffee for her before. Her eyes got a little wet with happy tears. "Thank you, Mr. Johnson. That is very nice," she said softly. They sat at the big kitchen table together. The morning sun came through the windows and made everything look golden and warm. Mr. Johnson had never shared his breakfast table with anyone before. It felt good to have company. "Tell me about your children," Mr. Johnson asked. His voice was gentle and caring. Maria's face lit up like a Christmas tree. She loved talking about her kids. "My little boy Carlos is 7 years old. He loves to draw pictures of animals. My daughter Rosa is 10. She wants to be a teacher when she grows up," Maria said with pride in her voice. Mr. Johnson listened carefully to every word. He had never thought much about children before, but hearing Maria talk made him feel warm inside. "They sound wonderful," he said. "I would like to meet them someday." Maria's heart felt full of joy. No boss had ever wanted to meet her children before. Over the next few weeks, Maria and Mr. Johnson talked every morning. They shared their coffee and their stories. Mr. Johnson learned that Maria woke up at 5 in the morning every day. She made breakfast for her children. Then she took 2 buses to get to his house. After work, she took 2 buses home. Then she helped her children with homework. She was tired all the time, but she never complained. Maria learned that Mr. Johnson's parents died when he was young. He worked very hard to make lots of money, but he forgot how to make friends. He ate dinner alone every night. He watched TV alone. He went to bed alone. He had everything money could buy, but he had no one to share it with. "Money can't hug you when you're sad," Mr. Johnson told Maria one morning. His voice sounded lonely. "That's true," Maria said. "But love can. Love makes everything better." Mr. Johnson nodded. He was starting to understand what love really meant. One day, Maria came to work with red eyes. She had been crying. Mr. Johnson noticed right away. "What's wrong, Maria?" he asked with worry in his voice. Maria wiped her eyes with her hand. "My Carlos needs glasses to see the board at school. The doctor says they cost $200. I don't have that much money." Her voice was shaky and sad. Mr. Johnson's heart hurt for his friend. $200 was nothing to him. But to Maria, it was like a mountain she couldn't climb. "I want to help," Mr. Johnson said quickly. "Let me pay for Carlos's glasses." Maria shook her head fast. "Oh no, Mr. Johnson. I can't take your money. That wouldn't be right." "Why not?" Mr. Johnson asked. "Friends help friends. You help me every day by being kind to me. Let me help you too." Maria thought about it. Her little boy needed to see. She worked hard, but sometimes hard work wasn't enough. "Okay," she said quietly, "but I will pay you back. A little bit each month." Mr. Johnson smiled. "If that makes you feel better, then okay. But there's no hurry." That afternoon, they went to the eye doctor together. Carlos was shy at first, but Mr. Johnson was very nice to him. He told Carlos funny jokes. Soon, Carlos was laughing and smiling. When Carlos put on his new glasses, his face was amazing to see. "Mama, I can see everything so clear," he shouted with joy. Maria cried happy tears. Mr. Johnson felt something warm and good in his chest. It felt better than making money. It felt like pure happiness. Maria wanted to help Mr. Johnson too. She noticed he always ate sad-looking sandwiches for lunch. His dinners came from restaurants in boxes. The food didn't look like it was made with love. "Mr. Johnson," Maria said one day, "I want to cook dinner for you. Real food made with care." Mr. Johnson's eyes got wide. "You would do that for me?" "Of course," Maria said with a big smile. "That's what friends do." The next evening, Maria stayed late. She cooked rice and beans and chicken. She made it the way her grandmother taught her. The whole house smelled like heaven. When Mr. Johnson tasted the food, he closed his eyes. "This is the best food I've ever eaten," he said. "It tastes like home." Maria felt proud and happy. "My grandmother always said food tastes better when you cook it with love." From that day on, Maria cooked dinner twice a week. Mr. Johnson looked forward to those dinners more than anything. They would sit and eat and talk like a real family. After 2 months of friendship, Mr. Johnson had a big idea. He learned that Rosa, Maria's daughter, was very smart. But her school wasn't very good. The good schools cost lots of money. One morning, Mr. Johnson was very excited. "Maria, I have something to tell you," he said. Maria could see he was happy about something. "What is it?" "I want to pay for Rosa and Carlos to go to the best school in town. They deserve a good education." Maria's mouth fell open. She couldn't speak for a whole minute. Finally, she whispered, "Mr. Johnson, that school costs thousands of dollars." "I know," he said. "But your children are smart. They should have the best chance to succeed. Please let me do this." Maria started crying. But these were the happiest tears she had ever cried. "Are you sure?" she asked. "I'm very sure," Mr. Johnson said. "Your children feel like my children now. I want to help them grow and learn." Maria hugged Mr. Johnson for the first time. It was a hug full of gratitude and friendship. As the months went by, beautiful traditions started. Every Sunday, Maria brought her children to Mr. Johnson's house. They would cook together, play games, and watch movies. Carlos would show Mr. Johnson his drawings. Rosa would read her school essays out loud. Mr. Johnson bought Carlos art supplies. He bought Rosa books about teaching. He taught them about money and saving. Maria taught him about cooking and laughing and enjoying simple things. The big house didn't feel empty anymore. It was full of voices and laughter and love. When Christmas came, something magical happened. Maria and her children decorated Mr. Johnson's house. They put up lights and a big tree. Carlos made paper angels. Rosa made paper snowflakes. "This house has never looked so beautiful," Mr. Johnson said with wonder in his voice. On Christmas morning, they all exchanged gifts. Mr. Johnson gave practical things, warm coats, school supplies, and toys. But Maria gave him something more special. She gave him a photo in a frame. It was a picture of all of them together, smiling like a real family. "This is the best gift I've ever received," Mr. Johnson said. His voice was thick with emotion. Rosa and Carlos did amazing at their new school. Rosa got the best grades in her class. Carlos won an art contest. They were growing smart and confident. One day, Rosa said to Mr. Johnson, "Thank you for believing in us. Someday, I'm going to be a teacher. And I'm going to help other kids like you helped me." Carlos hugged Mr. Johnson's leg. "You're like our grandpa," he said. Mr. Johnson felt his heart grow 3 sizes bigger, just like in the Christmas story. 1 year after their friendship began, something wonderful happened. Maria's family felt like Mr. Johnson's real family. And Mr. Johnson felt like their real family too. "I was so lonely before," Mr. Johnson told Maria one evening. "I thought money was everything. But I was wrong. Love is everything." Maria smiled. "And I thought rich people were all mean and selfish. But I was wrong too. You have the kindest heart I know." Now, Mr. Johnson's house is always full of noise and laughter. Maria still works there, but now she's more like family than an employee. Carlos is becoming a great artist. Rosa is at the top of her class and still wants to be a teacher. Mr. Johnson learned that the best way to be rich is to share what you have. Maria learned that some people with money have good hearts. Every evening, they all eat dinner together. They talk about their day. They make plans for tomorrow. They share their dreams and hopes. The lonely billionaire isn't lonely anymore. The struggling maid doesn't struggle alone anymore. They found something more valuable than money. They found love, friendship, and family. This story teaches us important things. It shows that rich or poor, we all need love and friendship. It shows that helping others makes us happy. It shows that sometimes the best friendships come from the most unexpected places. Money can't buy happiness, but kindness can create it. Love doesn't care if you're rich or poor. Family isn't just about blood, it's about caring for each other. Mr. Johnson and Maria learned that when you open your heart to help someone, your life becomes richer in ways that money can't measure. They learned that real wealth comes from the people who love you and the people you love back. And they all lived happily, helping each other, forever and ever.